Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of Everyone's a Little Queer. I am joined in person at their beautiful home, which is a shrine to Melinda Ryder. We're here with Bruce and Kirk, and Bruce has been doing drag for 50 years as a female impersonator, Melinda Ryder. You have a ton of accolades. You were the ambassador for Glamour. You're on the 1995 cover of Pitch, and Miss Gay Missouri, Miss Gay Kansas America, Miss Missouri America, and second alternate for Miss Gay America.
Yes.
He was on the cover last summer of Pitch
and on the cover of
in June.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Still just killing it in drag 50 years later. And Kirk, you've been nobody looks good without their outfit, and you've been helping creating and sewing and glamorizing, Melinda Ryder for how many years?
44 years.
44 years. What a testament to just your relationship as well, and how beautiful it is to have that with you both. So, and thank you so much for coming and sharing your story today. I'm really excited for this.
We're very excited too.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into it. I want to start with, the origins of our gay life. It's always interesting to come to that. And Kirk, I want to start with you. When did you go, I'm probably a little bit gay and not so straight?
Kindergarten.
When
I got caught in the closet with the boy up the street by his mom, and she made me go home.
Oh my God, that's scandalous. Kindergarten that's a very young age.
Yeah, but then, in high school and all that, I dated girls and all that because I lived in a small town, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
I still thought about boys and looked at other boys, but...
Yeah. Where did you grow up at?
Well, a lot of places, but mostly in Cameron, Missouri, which is about 45 minutes north of Kansas City.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you, because we're in the Bible Belt.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has a lot of dictation kind of on this area and through a lot, especially in the smaller towns. Were you like in a religious family?
Church of Christ, very evangelical.
Oh, okay.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Anally retentive.
Anally retentive. I love that. Yeah. It's, they still push that, the religion and you can't be gay and it's a sin and all that. And we still grow up and we're still here. We're still queer, and it doesn't change anything.
Right. It was always hate the sin, not the sinner, unless they're gay. And then you just don't have anything to do with them. You just cut them out totally.
I know how it's insane to me.
You could be a hooker or anything else, and that's okay. We still love you, but not what you do.
Yeah.
But if you're gay, it's all over.
That's insane. And growing up then, did you feel, especially in Cameron, did you feel like ostracized by anybody? Or,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though you had a girlfriend.
Yeah, even though I had a girlfriend, the big, sports jocks all still picked on me and called me a fag. And,
And did you, we know the kindergarten boy, but did you have anybody else around that you could, as you grew up, I guess,
I dabbled here and there.
Yeah.
When you had your best friend, Sandy.
Yeah, and my best friend, Sandy, she lived 2 blocks up the street from me. And the year we moved there, we were in the same homeroom class, and we became friends. And she was always kind of like a big sister.
Yeah.
Well, not really. But I was older than her, but she was like a sister. And so we were always connected. And when I first told her, I was like 21, and I said, I need to tell you something. And I said, she was doing her hair in the bathroom. And I said, I'm gay. And she went, and?
Yeah.
She went, I've known that since 7th grade.
Yeah. She's like, you're not telling new news here. Like, this isn't breaking story.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and how, in that time, in that era, when you come out to her, it's still not accepted as it is today. And not to say that it's accepted today, but it's definitely not as...
more mainstream
than
it was back then.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, I'm sure even in that little town still, that don't think they know anybody gay, but they do.
Yeah.
They just don't know it.
Oh, yeah. Just jump on like Grindr or Sniffies,
right.
and you'll see the people that are up there.
You'll see your best friend's husband.
Yeah.
On Grindr or something.
Exactly. Oh, without a doubt. We hear about it and see it all the time, and you have these closeted people that it's that internal homophobia that they just can't accept themselves in any sort of way. And it's like, even if you just dabble a little, the world might be a better place. You might be more accepting to somebody who's different than you.
Well, not to get political, but all the Republicans that are so anti-gay and anti-trans, but whenever they have a convention, Grindr shuts down because it's so overloaded.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Oh, yeah. Oh, we can get as political as we
Because
want
they're away from their wives
right.
most of the time.
Yeah, they're free, they're open, and they
Yeah.
don't have somebody holding the leash, and like Christy Noem's husband probably would
Right.
like,
With his big balloon boobs.
with his big balloon boobs,
He
bigger
couldn't
than
even get
Melinda
the
Ryder's
He
boobs.
couldn't even get the nipples in the right spot. I
Yeah.
thought, how hard is that to figure out?
He didn't. Well, I mean, when was the last time you saw a real, woman nipple? He probably didn't have anything to.
Well, Christie's are
Reference.
probably plastic. So,
Yeah,
you know,
they're all
everything
over,
else
they're
on
all
her
over the place.
Everything
too.
else on her body is. So.
Absolutely, 100%. Well, Bruce, how about you? Growing up, when did you go?
Well, I mean, I was always attracted to men, but I didn't really come out. I didn't say it out loud to myself and to my friends till I was 16. Yeah, but also I was very lucky back then because we had a coffee house for underage people to go to. And my friend Mark always did something a year ahead of me, so he went and found out the ropes, took me to do it too. Because and when I first started going out, it was jukebox and Christmas lights. There's no such thing as a DJ.
Because it was when? About
70,
1972 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how wonderful that we had that.
Yeah.
It got you into what gay life was like,
Yeah.
Plus, it was nice when the older men came later and picked us up. So.
Yeah.
But it really was a good way to segue into gay life.
Yeah.
And then Mark's brother, Brian, who was a year younger than you,
And he
came along and joined the group. And
Oh.
he's gay, too. He's the one that did that picture right
Oh,
there.
excellent. Oh, and it's it's
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous. Wonderful.
He's very talented.
So there was definitely something in the water growing up around Bruce where
Well,
everyone's
and
drinking it and becoming gay.
Especially in
my
their neighborhood. They had a, 2 or 3 street
Two.
little neighborhood.
Yeah.
And half the kids that grew up there are gay.
Yeah.
I'm like, there was something in the water in
Yeah.
that neighborhood.
They're pumping something through the air
Yeah.
or just absolutely. I mean, that's great though. You grow up and, you have kind of not maybe a role model, but somebody that's, you said, testing the waters for you.
Right.
For you to go, okay, this is safe and this is somewhere I can be. Yeah.
I remember being scared to death first time I went to that coffee house.
Yeah.
I was scared to death because, I thought, it's what everybody thinks. Oh my God, they're going to attack me. Everybody's going to, we're going to get raped in here. So Brian, my friend Brian, that did this painting, he and I go, okay, let's just hold hands. People will know we're together and they won't bother us. So just
Yeah.
So it's funny how it goes. The Gate. It was called The Gate.
The Gate. Yeah. Was that your first? Did that lead into getting into other like queer spaces?
Oh yeah, because then you try to sneak into the clubs, and then you try to sneak into the other clubs.
Yeah.
We usually got caught and kicked out.
Oh.
But then in Illinois, the age was 19.
Okay.
So we still went there before we were 19.
Yeah.
But the bartender would come and go, I think they're coming in to check us. You need to go.
Yeah.
They knew I was underage.
Yeah.
So anyway, and that was another club that it was just really long and skinny. And then the dance floor, jukebox, Christmas lights, and a bucket collecting drips. And then you went upstairs to the drag show. And that's where I first saw drag.
Yeah.
And said to myself, I think I could do that.
And what was that shit bar?
Red Bull.
The Red Bull.
The Red Bull bar.
I heard about it.
I mean, because,
Yeah.
growing up, everyone called me a girl and stuff like that. And I thought, well, I kind of look like a girl already. So I thought, I'll wait a while, but I can do that.
You kind of are a girl.
Yeah. I mean, for 50 years, we've been Melinda Ryder
Yeah.
and beautiful Melinda Ryder.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So when you come, I mean, Kirk, you came out in your 20s with your friend first and then everybody. And how did your family kind of react to that?
Well, I was still living at home. I was 20 years old. I was still living at home. I had gone out. There was a club here in town called the Dover Fox that if you were underage, you could get into easily.
Okay.
And I had an ID of my older brother's that was expired, but they didn't look at that. They just looked at the birth date, which
Yeah.
said I was like 3.5 years older than I was. So
Okay.
I guess it was plausible. And I got home and it was like 4 a.m. or something. And my mom was sitting in the dark in the living room waiting for me and said, "Where have you been?" I said, "Oh, out with friends." And she said, I'll never forget it. She said, "Have you been participating in homosexual activities?" And I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And she went ballistic and started crying. And then my dad came down. So I got mad and I left and I went to a friend's house. And the next day, my dad came there and found me because my car had broken down there once. And so he came to help me fix it.
Okay.
So he knew where this guy lived. So he just took a chance to go there and see if he knew where I was. And so he was more cool about it at first. And my mom was devastated because she and I had always been really close. I was the baby, the family, and all that. And so it just was hectic for a while.
Yeah.
And then I moved out after that and never lived at home again.
Yeah.
Well, tell them about the therapist.
Well, that was, they wanted me to go to a therapist.
Okay.
A
That
church
was
therapist.
Church associated, which right there is a fucking oxymoron.
Yeah.
I don't think you can be religious and be a decent therapist.
I think your view would be a little straight on what you're trying to do.
Especially in the religion we grew up in.
Yeah.
And-
Almost conversion therapy.
Yeah. And that's what they wanted to do was shock therapy stuff. And he explained it to me and showed me all that and everything. And it was over on 63rd Street in Brookside. And when we got out, my parents said, "So what do you think about that?" And I went, "I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
No way."
And I think that's amazing. You know, being that young and they just found out he was gay and he was smart enough to say, this is not right.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely. No, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Bruce, you were close with your family and your older sister, right? And
Younger sister.
younger sister. And so when you come out to your family, were they just like, yeah, we see that and
It's funny because we used to hang out in Forest Park in St. Louis, and it was a place for younger guys to hang out, you know, to just be together. And then they started writing in the newspaper about people having sex there. So my mom, she said, "I need to go to dinner with you." I said, "Okay." And she said, "You know that they're arresting doctors and lawyers and Indian chiefs there." I went, "I'm not having sex in the park."
yeah.
And, you know, we just hang out and act silly.
Yeah.
You know, so she was, you know, cool about
And
it.
you were about 16 then? Or
Yeah, I was
17,
16, 17.
Yeah.
And I always, no matter where I was, even before they knew I was gay, I told them exactly where I was.
Okay.
So if they needed to find me, they would know where I was.
Yeah.
I didn't try to hide any of that stuff.
Yeah. So you were like at a young age, very just like open and you knew who you were.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's wonderful.
especially since his dad was a football coach and athletic director at high school.
But he was so cool because he's, when I was little, they'd say, "Are you going to play ball for your dad?" And he went, "No, I think he likes he has other
Oh, he
interests."
knew.
Yeah,
he knew.
but he never made me feel ashamed.
Yeah.
So he was very cool.
And back then, that's kind of unheard of. I mean, look, Kurt,
Because that was
your
in the
response.
60s.
Yeah.
Well, then my brother came along 10 years later, and when he was in high school, he was into music.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Nobody in your family was really into sports.
Yeah.
Except for dad.
Well, his younger sister, that's a year younger than him, she was just here this weekend. She was in cheerleading and stuff, but that's all the more sports she was into.
My dad also always told me, goes, "I understand the kid that is not athletic
Yeah.
and the kid that is overweight and the kid that it's hard for them to do this. I just want them to try, and then I'm good."
He sounds
he
so
was
supportive.
He was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't like, with Bruce's drag, he didn't like to see it. He didn't want to
Okay.
see it, but he accepted it.
Yeah.
And like when Bruce won Miss Missouri, his dad didn't want to go to the pageant, but he
Right.
bought tickets for everyone else in the family.
Interesting.
Here's a funny story. After all that, I was staying at the house and I had a show, and I came downstairs and I was leaving, and he said, "Isn't that skirt a little too short?"
Yeah. You were like, no, I can go up about an inch or two.
And this is when you were in your 20s and
Right.
Yeah, because you
used
started
to wear just little Jane Fonda swimsuits.
I mean, hey, if it fits and it works, right? It's making the money. And I mean, you started drag back in 1975,
Yep.
right? So what was your first do you remember your first performance?
Well, first of all, I had a friend named Richard Gilchrist who was a drag queen, and he became my mentor.
Okay.
And helped put me in drag. It's funny because first time he put me in drag, he went, "I think I just created my competition."
Oh,
So anyway, and back then, you only did shows every so many months because they had a cast.
yeah.
And then you got to be the special guest. Yeah, I think my first song was Stoned Love by the Supremes. And then my first ballad was Way of Love by Cher.
Oh, Cher.
Yeah. And back then it was LPs. So you went out and had to put the needle on the exact spot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and pop through cracks and all that. You know.
Oh, what a time, though. What a fun time.
Oh, we had a great time. We really did have a great time.
And then your first big hit was that Natalie Cole song
This will be.
that you still do.
Yeah.
Well, classic's a classic.
It is. Oh, yeah. It doesn't go old. And that's what I love when we go see like a drag show or something. And like the newer songs are good and whatever. But when you hit like a classic and you just kill it and oh my God.
The new ones are boring, some of them, because they look fabulous on a video on TV.
Yes.
But when you're just listening to the words and it starts out at this level and it goes all the way to the end at that level and never goes anywhere,
Yeah.
it's boring.
Yeah.
Whereas old music had a beginning, a key change in the middle, and a big ending.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
so the song built.
Well, and there's some that like I'm not a big hip hop fan. I mean, but they do so many hip hop songs in a row, and it's like,
Mhm.
hit me with some like Britney Spears or like Cher or Shania. Give me some like older, like let's throw it back a little bit
Right.
and kind of come out and have fun and build up the crowd a little bit. And I think that's some of the most fun that we've had when we go to drag is when it's like a throwback song, even like going far back as someone can go. And they come out and they just kill it and they have fun. Some are so into that performing of like
Right.
being that glamour drag.
Well, and they're more worried about how they look than what they're doing.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
There's been a lot of drag queens that I'm like, smile.
Yeah.
And,
But-
they're so worried about making sure and touching themselves and making sure their hair is this and that they're not even projecting anything out to the audience.
No, it's definitely that glamour.
Mhm.
They want to be the Instagram. They want that photo moment when they have it and everything. And
Well, and I always believe in facial expression.
yeah.
'Cause that's how you draw people in, because a lot of them have no facial expression. They just do their dance, they do their reveal, they do their splits, their cartwheel, boom, I'm done.
And it's
Yeah.
almost like they're
Because I've had
thinking
people
the
come
whole
up to me
time.
after shows and go, you know what? You're the only person in the whole show that had facial expression. And saying, I thought he was an opera singer. I'm an opera singer, and you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. How'd that make you? I mean, that's
Oh,
gotta be.
it made me feel wonderful that I
Yeah.
could connect with someone, especially someone of that caliber.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how did the name Melinda Ryder? How does that?
Mm.
How did that come about?
Okay.
That wasn't your original.
Well, no, I wanted to be April Stevens, and Richard Gilchrist, Genevieve Ryder said no.
Yeah.
And so we just went down. I went Melissa, and then I went Melinda. She said Melinda.
Yeah.
And then I was dating a cowboy at the time.
Oh.
And so I even had little panties that said Riding Cowboy. And so it just became Melinda Ryder because of him.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, because you just had one name at first.
And
It's
the
just-
end-
you were just Melinda. She was just
Just-
Genevieve. And then once you started
a
adding
lot of people didn't have
Yeah.
last names. Anyway, so then all of a sudden we were doing a show together, and she came out as Genevieve Ryder. I went, what?
Yeah.
But we became like the first sister act.
Okay.
So it turned out great.
Yeah.
He was a great person. So anyway, thank God for cowboys.
Yeah. Because yeah,
And they did
absolutely.
it as
And
a
he
joke,
was kind
didn't
of, which was funny because he was bisexual too. And
Genevieve was?
what?
Genevieve was?
No,
Oh, the cowboy.
cowboy.
Oh, the cowboy.
The cowboy.
Yeah.
Because he had a daughter,
Yeah.
and it's funny because he never wanted to go out.
Yeah.
And I finally talked him into going out to a movie, Dog Day Afternoon,
Okay.
and we were sitting in the theater. Okay, because he lived in St. Louis but had a farm in Festus,
Okay.
and didn't two people from down in Festus walk in that theater?
Oh shit.
He freaked.
Yeah.
I go, just calm down. You can tell I'm your cousin,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you look guilty.
Oh yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah. Well, you talk about facial expressions. If you sit there and when they walk in, you go eyes wide and
Oh,
go, "Oh shit!"
yeah, that's exactly.
That's kind of going to tell a little
You
bit
just
of
told
something.
on yourself.
You just told on
Yeah.
yourself. Absolutely. Were you always, so when you started drag, when it's 1975 and we're going through, the 80s, were you always just glamour drag? Because you are glamorous, and a lot of that's now got to be
I think
up
it's
to Kirk.
gotten more glamorous as you've gotten older.
But also, the first drag I saw was what it is now: big hair, lots of lashes,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. I was the first natural queen.
Yeah.
I used my own hair, very little makeup. I looked like a prom queen.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was natural.
I mean,
Still are.
you had a glamored look, but you weren't like the glamour. Like
No,
I think you
I
look
didn't do all the giant
more
hair and the
now.
lashes and all
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I had hair back then.
Yeah.
So I used my own hair.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's wonderful because so
And-
many times it's wigs
Yeah.
now.
As you've gotten older, I think you have to kind of go more into the glam look to stay relevant, or else you
Yeah.
look kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. 'Cause-
You can't do all the trendy makeup and trendy wigs because it doesn't look right once
Well,
you
I know,
get to a certain
I know what
age.
my look is now. And I
Yeah.
don't try to compete with anybody
yeah.
because I'm at a point in my career that this is how I want to look.
Right.
Like I said, I don't want to try and look younger or be.
Well, I don't think you should. I mean, you should
No.
own. I mean, you have, paved a way for drag and for the queer community for the last 50 years. Be Melinda Ryder. Your name is iconic with drag, especially here in Kansas City. Because everything else that you do too, not just with drag, but all your charity events that you host and everything, your name is on so many stuff as Melinda Ryder. I think if you tried to, compete with what is out there now, the younger queens,
It's silly.
yeah, it would just own it. And the glamour that you have is that like iconic drag. When you walk in, you're like, yep, there's that bitch right
Yeah,
there.
we call it old school drag.
The old school drag, more
Yeah.
more female impersonator drag.
Right.
That yeah,
Well, and like at my exhibit, I believe it arrive as a star, leave as a star.
Yeah.
Now they like to come in their jeans and their face on and a scarf or a ball cap.
yeah,
See, to me, that's tacky.
yeah. I get it. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's a whole different generation and they have a whole different. One thing about drag now is there's something for everybody. When I started doing drag, there was a mold you had to fit into.
Okay.
Of glamour drag.
Yeah.
And like I said, I really consider myself a female impersonator.
yes,
Yeah, not a drag queen, but I don't mind being called a drag queen.
yeah,
But I like to walk in with a pair of sunglasses and look like a grand queen.
yeah. And Kirk, so and I mean, you have been helping ever since Bruce with the cancer. Was a 3-time cancer survivor,
Right.
and you've been helping now paint Bruce into Melinda and dress and
I
create
learned
these outfits.
to paint. When I was young, I went to a modeling school with a friend of mine, John Casablancas, as a boy. And they showed us basic how to do your makeup for like black and white photos or whatever on yourself. Well, then the first time I had to paint a woman, I thought, well, it's got to be similar, only just more.
Yeah. Okay.
You know? And so when I met Bruce, there was a guy named Jim Shesky that always did his makeup and his hair. And there was another couple of ladies that used to make clothes for him and stuff. And one time Jim said, and I always went and watched while he was getting ready. And one time he said, well, I'm going to be out of town when you have that show, so I can't do it. He goes, Kirk, you can do it. And I went, I can't do that. I can't do that. And he went, yeah, you can. You've watched me enough.
Yeah.
You can figure it out. You can do it. I was petrified. We did it at home. Took me 4 hours to paint his face the first time I did it. Put so much color on that it just all ended up being gray.
Yeah.
It was just all, but it took me that long. And then I just started doing it more and getting more comfortable. And then other people were like, would you paint me for this or for that? So I did a lot of other queens through the years.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore because I don't want to be bothered with anybody else.
Yeah.
But so I just kind of learned it. And like I said earlier, the clothing, by the time you buy fabric and you have somebody else make it and you pay them, it costs a lot of money. So
Yeah.
luckily it was the 80s. Things were very unconstructed and big and dome and sleeves and all that stuff. So I just traced things that he already had on fabric and left a little room for a seam and made it. They were, 1 or 2 pieces in the dress and that was it.
Yeah.
And then I slowly taught myself how to use really simple patterns. And I still use patterns. I have a few that I like and I add this top with this bottom or vice versa, change the sleeves. But I still don't really understand the lingo
Yeah.
on a pattern, all the things it says. I don't know what that means. I just understand how the pieces fit together from
Right.
the pictures.
Well, and he's very much, you can see it in his head.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I can visualize.
you can visualize it before anything,
I think we went to the when we went to your exhibit there at the Museum of Kansas City. I kept telling my husband, Mark, that I was awestruck so many times because it would say, what you designed and what Kirk had made, or like the shoe. I think there was a pair of shoes that were like bedazzled, and then you made this outfit to match.
No, I made the shoes came bedazzled.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you
we
made the
got those
outfit
from
to
another
match.
queen. So I made that dress because I'm looking at the shoes. I realized they're just clear bugle beads, which
Yep.
are little glass beads with colored thread through them. That's what makes the different colors.
Okay.
So I just bought a bunch of clear beads. I don't even know where I would get that kind of stuff anymore. Somebody helped me make that dress, and then I beaded it so that it would match and made the earrings that matched it and all that.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite outfit of the whole.
It was white.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was white with the colored bead. I was like, I think I looked at it and said, I want this. I was like, I want that outfit because
there were a few things in the exhibit that this lady named Nookie made. She was a black lady that a lot of the queens used to make clothes. She was very, very large. I mean, like 500 pounds large.
Oh, wow.
She just sat in her room on a king-size bed, and she took up most of it. And so when you did a fitting, she would say, come here, baby. And you just kind of walked into her.
Yeah.
And she did stuff and fit it. And then she would reach over and hoist this machine up on a table and sit there and sew it.
So
she would never iron or press anything because she didn't want to ruin the fabric.
Oh, interesting.
So
okay.
she would make it, and then you'd have to take it to a cleaner's or somewhere and have it all steamed out and pressed.
Wow, wow, interesting. But also, what an experience to kind of walk into somebody that's just like, nope, you come to me, and they just.
She made 2 of the outfits. Well, actually 3. And then I embellished one of them. It was a black one with gay pride feathers on it. She made the initial black costume, and it just had gold sequin fabric on the tassel-y things. And then I added all the feathers. And then she made that chamois cloth one that was next to the white dress. And she made the black and silver evening gown that he was second runner-up at Miss America in.
Yeah.
Other than that, I made everything except for one blue suit, which was store-bought.
Yeah, seeing your outfits and seeing the outfits that Melinda Ryder has worn through the years, I mean, you don't see outfits like that much anymore.
Right.
It's, it is this very glamour and over the top, just colors and textures and everything. Beautiful outfits.
Well, and I just, every once in a while I would think, oh, I'm going to give this dress away. Just I call it my tipping dress, tipping to the club.
Yeah.
Anyway, but these young kids don't want that.
Yeah.
Because they, like I said, they wear jeans and a t-shirt.
They show up half in drag and half out of drag.
I've seen that. Yeah.
They're hauling a suitcase you could go on a 6-month trip with to do 3 numbers. Yeah. It's like, really? Just bring the 3 things you're going to wear.
Yeah.
I got a funny thing about Nookie. Charity Case and I turned her on to pralines and cream ice cream from Baskin Robbins. So she'd go, hey, baby, could you stop and get me some ice cream on the way over? And then she would say, will you go to Gates and get me, a sandwich or whatever? Because they give white people more meat.
Yeah.
And she lived over kind of in the hood.
Yeah.
And her sister lived with her. Her name was Wanda. Yeah. She worked for Social Security or something. She was hilarious.
Yeah. And she always made sure to walk.
She would stand on the front porch and watch us get in the car and drive off to make sure we were safe before we left the neighborhood.
I mean, we never had any issues, but it was sweet of her.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's, I mean, just what a community outside of what the norm of what we think would be a community is and it does. I mean, to look in drag, to be in drag takes a team sometimes. And it's great to find people, even people like them down in the hood. I mean, just gotta bring them Gates barbecue and bring them lots of meat and ice cream.
Right. Didn't Wanda used to say, Miss Bruce, you sure like to prance?
No, she said, Miss Bruce, you prance like a pony.
Yeah. You're like, that's what I'm going for. That was my point. Well, I love that. So working through drag, you get into drag. We go through the 80s and the queer community. We know HIV/AIDS was a huge thing through there. And how did that affect through drag or, in your relationship coming up through the 80s?
Well, I don't think, especially the younger generation, have no idea how frightening it was, especially when we didn't know what was happening.
Right.
People were dying and we didn't know why.
Well, you'd see them on Friday night and they were fine. And then the next week you'd hear, he passed away this week.
Yeah. So fast.
Yeah.
But also, I've always believed drag is a platform for you to give back to.
Yeah.
Because, shows are fun, but a show is a show.
Right.
So I'm very proud of the fact that whenever they wanted to raise money, they came to the drag queens. And we always were there ready to give our time and talent to raise funds. So,
Well, even the boy community, like the cowboy community, the leather community, they would a lot of times put down drag. They didn't want drag queens in their bar. But when it's time to raise money, who do they call?
The drag queens. Right. Yeah. Because, drag is going to raise money.
Right.
Everyone wants a good show, and especially the female impersonator and the what is drag, the art of drag itself is so powerful. And I don't think we've taken I always pride ourselves, like with Mark and I, of being able to take our friends to their first ever drag show. It's always a joy to me because then when we leave, every single response has always been, "That was amazing. Can we come back?" I'm like,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
And
Because
through the years, I can't tell you how many people have said, Melinda, you were the very first drag queen I ever saw.
yeah.
And a lot of other queens my age, they go, I hate that. No, I love it.
Yeah.
You know,
Why?
and
Take
you know, when I was performing, first of all, somebody called me Bruce when I was in drag. I went, they're from the old days.
Yeah.
Because he was a
But-
bartender at the bar as a
Yeah.
boy, so everybody
Yeah.
knew Bruce the bartender.
But also, they're like, oh, you're still here. Oh my God, I'm so glad you're still here.
Yeah.
So I'm like a touchstone
Yeah.
from that time.
And the younger generation now, most of them aren't sure who Bruce is because they've only ever seen Melinda.
Yeah.
Because we're old. We don't go out unless we're doing a show.
Right.
And so we've been at like a brunch or something somewhere, and the queens will come up and they'll see me and I'll tip them and they'll go, oh, hi, Kirk. And where's Melinda? And I'm like, right here.
Yeah.
They'd never seen him as a boy, so they
Yeah.
didn't know who it was.
Yeah. When you're not in, in drag and in makeup, it's, I mean,
Usually
you do,
if they
yeah.
see his eyes or hear him talk, then they put it together.
Yeah. Yeah, because you do have a very distinct, I mean, Melinda, right, your voice is very distinct of who you are. And I mean, but also a testament to what you've done for the community over the years and yourself for people to, I mean, you're a cornerstone of drag in Kansas City.
They go, we looked you up on YouTube. You could dance. I went, I was young once too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. You had the energy back
I have a
then.
plaque in my exhibit saying best dancer.
Yeah. You have lots of accolades there. And it's, again, just a testament to what you guys together have done. And
Well, yeah,
it's a
I'm,
team.
I'm very proud of getting a proclamation from Mayor Sly James on my birthday. And then I got that.
On his 60th birthday.
Yeah. Then I got a resolution on International Drag Day.
That was just this last year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just
From Mayor Lucas.
still slaying the game down just everywhere you go. And you have a Netflix documentary coming out, right? John McCrae.
Well, we hope it's a Netflix. We're
Yeah.
not sure where it's going to be, but
Yeah.
So it's going to be coming out in the fall. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be good. How was that? Like filming that documentary? Was it a big trip down memory lane for you? And
they filmed over a 3-year period.
oh wow.
So when we see the documentary, you're going to see Melinda go through about 3 or 4 different sizes.
Yeah.
And it was interesting and fun, but sometimes it was frustrating as hell
Yeah.
because it's supposed to be reality, Like we went to see his cancer doctor.
Yeah.
And John was like, well, maybe they can do the tests and we can film all that. I thought, well, first of all, they're not going to let you into a room when
Yeah.
they're doing that stuff. And we would have to pay for that
Right.
separately
Yeah.
to just do it for you to film. So we met with this doctor and he just used old stuff.
Yeah.
And we were at KU and we were walking down this hall like we were nervous and going into this room like 12 times.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you can't really act nervous and scared on the 11th and 12th time.
Right. You're like, it's set in. I'm
Right.
good. Like I know what's happening.
But it was so great that somebody contacted my doctor and he immediately said, yes, I'll do it immediately.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really nice. 'Cause
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him for years.
Yeah.
Because when we have gone back for checkups, which we don't do much anymore,
Yes.
we never saw him anymore. He was always doing something else. We saw other people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk about your wedding.
Okay.
So we saw, you had in your exhibit, you had about your wedding and everything, and the outfits gorgeous and both matched wonderfully. But you guys got married on your 30th anniversary, right? But you didn't get married here in Kansas City. If I
We got
remember right.
married in Iowa because it was legal in Iowa and it wasn't legal everywhere else yet
Okay.
in the country.
Yeah.
That was before the
Obergefell.
decision thing.
Yeah.
So we got married there as boys one weekend. We drove up with some friends and that stood up with us and stuff. And my friend Sandy, she stood up with me. One of the people stood up with me. And she had a cousin who was a lesbian that lived in Iowa somewhere who was a
Okay.
minister.
Oh, nice.
So she met us in Des Moines and did the ceremony.
Oh, excellent.
And then a month later, we had kind of like a big reception.
It was an anniversary.
Recommitment kind of party
Okay.
in March at the museum.
Yes.
With the dress, because Bruce said, I want to come down those stairs in a
Well,
dress.
because we did a photo shoot at the museum when it was just completely empty.
Yeah.
Empty. And I said, I'm coming down that staircase in a gown one day. And I just sure did.
It sure did.
Yeah.
So we did that a month after we did the actual wedding thing.
I love the fierceness of it too. You're just like, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and thank God for BJ, the DJ from Missy's. He's done my music since I first came to town.
Yeah.
And because the room had it, the house had electricity, but no lights.
Because they were remodeling.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing this remodeling. It was closed for 10 years while they were putting modern day electricity and HVAC and all that stuff into
Right.
it and making it look original to the house. So it still had electricity, but no lighting. So he had to light the whole staircase and lobby and all that
Oh,
of
wow.
that place with lights and everything. And then we had the reception in the carriage house, which was behind it,
Yeah.
because they wouldn't let you have food or drink inside the house on the
Oh,
old
just to
floors,
protect it and
on
everything.
floors,
Yeah. So I do have to ask, because we saw Alan Cumming was there at the reception. How does that happen? Because I'm going to tell you right now, we are obsessed with Alan Cumming. I mean,
he's a cool guy.
He's cool. He's so quirky and fun. And he has a new documentary out on, I believe it's on Wow Presents Plus, where it follows him with his bar in New York and everything.
Yeah,
And
I knew he had a bar in New York.
yeah, it's very tiny. It's probably no bigger than just the living room right here. That's about how big it is, and they will pack like 200 people into
And
it.
he claims to be bisexual, but I've only ever heard him talk about his husband. So
Yeah, yeah.
But that day of the wedding, I was on the board of the Like Me Lighthouse Community Center.
Okay.
That's the day they decided to do their big celebration.
it was their very first big.
So I went to the thing during the day for the ribbon cutting and then had to go get ready for the wedding. And then later, our friend Val Matula, who is a limo driver, she was driving him around because they did a show at UMKC and he brought his piano player. Anyway, after it was all done, he was not ready to go home. She went, I got a fun place for you to go. And he popped into our reception.
How crazy is that?
I mean, he didn't stay real long, but he was very sweet.
I took him into the house to show him the big mansion and
Yeah.
stuff. And
That's crazy. I mean, I think I probably would have lost my shit if Alan Cumming showed up to my reception and was like, hey, I'm here to party for a couple minutes. You know, I'd have been like, done, that's it. So
I wonder nowadays when I look at that picture, I thought, if we saw him somewhere, I wonder if he would even remember that.
yeah,
You know, he's done
yeah.
so many things. He's probably, I think I kind of remember.
Yeah,
that.
you're right. I mean, but what fun. I mean,
Right.
it just goes to show that, I mean, queer people, we know how to party for sure. And, you know, no matter anything that gets out of our way, our love's not going to stop. And,
Right.
you know, we're going to keep celebrating each other and celebrating with the ones that we love. So, and that's what you guys keep doing. Where's your favorite place you've performed drag?
Cabaret, probably.
Cabaret?
Which is first in Maine. Yep. Because I started performing there when it was just one side and it had that plexiglass dance floor that lit up.
It was a disco floor.
Disco
And then
floor.
they opened up the next room. But also you weren't allowed to perform there unless it is because it was supposed to be cowboys.
It was the boy bar. They didn't
Oh,
let
okay.
drag queens in there
Or
normally,
women.
except
Oh.
when they were having a show. And then the show was just on a wagon that was nailed to the floor,
Oh,
so it wouldn't roll.
okay.
It was like 3 feet wide and about 8 feet long, and that's all.
Then they put in a dance floor
Oh.
in that room. Then they opened up the next room, which was Tiffany's attic dinner theater.
Okay.
So it was fun, you know. And we had like a lot of queens that we always worked together. We all knew each other. We all had a great time. When I said one of my favorite things was one New Year's Eve, we did tag team drag. So many girls performed in the big room over there to a certain time, and we performed in the middle room. And then we met in the kitchen and did high fives, and
then they would switch.
we switched rooms. Yeah, it was fun. We all got along really good.
Good.
I mean, that was a fun regular place, but like Pride's where there's thousands of people are a fun memory to look out and see all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I always tell the younger queens too, when you perform at something like Pride, there's like thousands of people.
Yeah.
Save that memory because, you know, that doesn't happen very often. You know, usually it's a little small thing or a bar. I mean, the queens now are lucky they have like chaperone. They perform to her
Yeah.
concert. They perform at the Uptown for things. They perform at the living room.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I always say too. They kind of take because they have social media, so they kind of take it for granted. And plus, the shows are always full.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
when I started doing drag here, I had to beg people to come to a show because some of the men were insulted that, because they were all trying to be butch.
Right.
And they thought, you're making us look bad.
Yeah.
I went around to the bars and put flyers on cars and got people there. And I did my first show at the Cabaret downtown and in the basement.
It was the lesbian bar. In the
Yeah.
basement.
It was a fun bar too because they had like 3 different rooms. And then once people saw it's just fun.
Yeah.
They got over it and then they'd let me go up to the big room and all that too.
Well, because they wouldn't let you perform upstairs till they saw that it was going over, and then they decided, let's do it upstairs.
Gotcha.
But then when you worked for the Cabaret at first, didn't they deduct your pay because you weren't working and you were doing a show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And that's
Yeah.
when you're young and you want to perform no matter what.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you gotta start making your name out there and
Right.
and grinding, and now look at you.
yeah.
And back
And
then,
now-
shows were only every few months or every 6 months you'd do a big show.
Okay. It wasn't like
And
a weekend.
No, and
or,
then by the 80s, it had become a every week thing.
Yeah.
2 or 3 nights every week.
and drag now has changed so
Oh, yeah.
drastically to where and a lot of that has to do, I think, with social media and the way it's, RuPaul has taken it and blown it literally around the world of drag. And so you go anywhere
Right.
in any city, you can almost find a drag
Oh,
show
yeah.
somewhere
I
now.
don't really care for his style, for the contestant's style.
Yeah.
And because, especially on the show, it's mostly about costumes and doing comedy, and they don't perform,
Yeah.
And if you win, you're just going to go to a club and perform. You're not going to be doing a skit.
Right.
And
And
sometimes
plus,
when they-
the drag is so over the top. I give him total credit for making drag mainstream.
Yeah.
But it's not my kind of drag.
Right.
Because sometimes when they do come to a club, they're
Yeah.
boring as hell sometimes,
We've experienced that. Yeah. We've experienced that to where we've left a drag show a couple times and gone, what the fuck just happened? Like,
Right.
okay, well, and you can't get your money back out of that one,
Right.
and it is. And I think our favorite, I love Kansas City drag though. I think the Kansas City queens here are always on top, always
Right.
performing and always fierce. It's because Kansas City, I didn't go to my first drag show until my husband. Like, I knew what drag was, and when I lived in Indiana for about 3.5 years, and there was one gay bar in Fort Wayne, and they did drag like every other Wednesday and maybe on a Saturday kind of thing, and I just never went. And then when I got here, it's really when he introduced me into drag, and now I'm like, this is great. Our kids love it. Our daughter, I was telling you earlier, sometimes she's 12, sometimes 16, and she's just judgy. She gets judgy on some of these outfits that they wear. And it's funny to watch and see how she's become. And just, it goes to show too, like, drag's not scary. Drag queens are not scary,
And they're not there to convert you
no,
into homosexuality.
no, not at all. That's,
Like they try to make everyone think that
No.
they're just there to.
they're there to
you know,
entertain.
right.
And a drag queen knows the audience. You know your audience, right? You
Right.
know if you're performing for a late night audience of adults, what you can do and not do. And then, drag story hours are not the time to come out in a bikini top and,
Right.
shake your
Because
ass.
Bruce has told people at bingos in the past that have little kids, he's like, now you realize it's kind of dirty and we curse. And most of the parents are like, it's nothing they haven't heard at home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And one woman said, well, if you say something that they don't understand, and I'll just ignore them and tell them
I'm
that.
not going to explain.
Yeah, I won't
Yeah.
explain to them what
Yeah.
what you were talking about.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way to look at it and just move on. I think all this censorship of drag is just
Well,
Even when they
ridiculous.
first came out with those anti-drag laws, like in Nashville,
yeah.
and they're going to go in there and arrest the queens, and blah, blah, I went, that's never going to work.
No.
well,
I mean, how can you police that many drag shows and you have to stand there to see if they're doing something dirty?
Yeah.
And as I thought, they're just trying to get on TV.
well,
It's-
that's
I
the
mean-
whole thing with those right wingers.
yeah.
They complain about TV shows that are too this or that, or drag shows. Well, how do you know unless you're there watching it?
Right.
How do you know this TV show is bad except that you watch it every week?
Right.
so that you can complain about it. So you're
Exactly.
actually helping their ratings by watching it every week.
Well, and I'm sure like anybody that goes to watch drag to police it's going to end up enjoying it and just forgetting about what they
Well,
were
they're
doing.
seeing that it's not
It's
it's
nothing.
not sexual. I mean, some people try to be sexy, but it's not a sex thing like
No.
strippers or something, you know.
Well, and that's what I don't understand. Like, stripper, I mean, yeah, there's not strippers I mean, you don't have like stripper story hour. You could, that would be an interesting thing and probably wouldn't go over very well in a lot of places, but drag is not, it's not, the purpose is not to be sexualized in
No.
drag. The purpose is to be entertained.
Well, I don't know how many times a parent will come up with a little kid going, "Can I have your picture? Because my daughter loves drag. Please take a picture with her."
Yeah.
And all the time. I mean, all the time.
How does that make you feel when that?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I have these fans that I give out for birthdays. And there's a little kid in there that I always give them a fan. They're so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because just, I don't know, a couple of months ago, some woman with her daughter who was probably in her teens, mid-teens, said you were the first drag queen she saw when she was a year old here at Hamburger Mary's, and now she's like 16 or something.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, nothing like trying to age you though, real quick.
Right.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother him.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Some
No.
people that are obsessed with age. it
Oh,
bothers,
yeah.
But
Oh, I've never thought about it. I'm just like, we
Yeah,
move
people are always
on, we
like-
do another year, and we move
yeah,
on.
I'm
and do
turning
fun things.
65. Bruce just turned 70. People are like, "Does that bother you?" I'm like, no.
No.
Didn't bother me when I
Mm.
turned 30, and I know people that just freak out. They're turning 30, or they're turning 40, or they're turning 50.
Yeah.
It's one of those things
You
there's
can't
nothing you can
change
do
it.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So get over it.
Right. I like to celebrate those big ones. It's like, I did it. I'm here and
Mhm.
let's do it, so.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, this has been wonderful. Before we wrap things up, I do want to ask, and I tell everyone, especially if we do it as like a dual kind of interview, you can answer together or separately, but I think it's always important for our listeners and people who we do have a lot of allies that listen and they're not a part of the queer community. And so I do want to ask, what does pride mean to you?
I think it means self-confidence in who you are, celebrating who you are. And not necessarily you're not trying to push anything on anybody, but why shouldn't you be proud of the person you are, which happens, you just happen to be gay,
Yeah.
And there's good gays and there's bad gays,
Oh, yeah.
There's no one category.
Yeah.
I've tried to be a good gay.
Yes.
It's just like there's good straight people and bad straight people,
Yeah.
Like when they were trying to have white pride or hit straight pride.
Straight pride.
Straight pride. I'm
And
like,
I mean, you can say white pride. It's
every
the same
day,
shit.
every day of the year has always been that for you.
Yes.
You don't even comprehend what it's like to be a marginalized kind of person that doesn't feel like you're allowed to fit in or whatever. So,
Yeah.
I mean, just being who you are and what you believe in. I don't care if you're straight.
Yeah.
They're so
Yeah.
That's what I always thought too. I don't care if you're straight. Why do you care if I'm gay?
Yeah.
Right.
they're so worried about gay
Right.
couples on TV
Because
shows.
all they think about is the bedroom. And I
Yes.
thought too, but I don't know what you do in your bedroom. You don't know what I do in my
Yeah.
bedroom, so back off.
They're so worried about gay couples on TV shows, but as gay people,
Yeah.
we've had to watch you straight people make out our entire lives on TV shows.
Absolutely.
So imagine if it were flipped. and
Yeah.
Being gay was normal, and you were told that your lifestyle is wrong because you're heterosexual and you like a woman instead of
Yeah.
and you would think that's ridiculous. Well, that's the exact same thing.
It is. And I think it's hard for some people when you ask them that question and then they can't put themselves in our shoes that
No.
way because they've never even known a little bit of hate for who
Right,
they are, right? They might have been known to be hated on because they're dickheads, but
Right.
they have never experienced hate just because they exist.
All right. It's like my brother, who's a white, redneck, heterosexual man, and with that anger thing. All these rednecky people, they're always angry about everything and they hate the world and they've got their guns to protect themselves. Well,
Yeah.
it's your side that people need to protect themselves from. So they're not going to come after you.
Yeah.
And what are you angry about? Why do you hate every other kind of person? Because the whole world has always been set up on your behalf.
Yes.
White, heterosexual men.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are you angry about? What are you mad at? Why do you hate everybody else?
They're angry because, he doesn't
Because-
have the ability to get a corporate, executive job, and they gave it to the black woman who worked her
Right.
ass off. And, well, that's not fair. It's like, well, no offense, you don't have the qualifications for
Right.
that. Like, that's why
Exactly.
she got it.
Well, and they don't want us to have the same equality that they have.
Yeah.
That's why they call it, they want special rights. No, we don't want special rights. We just want all the exact same things
Yeah.
that everybody else has.
I just want to wake up in the morning and just know that I don't have to watch the news to see who's attacking our rights today or who's petitioning the court to invalidate my marriage to my husband
Right.
or anything like that. You don't wake up that way. You wake up and go, well, I got to piss and go make coffee now. Like, that's the first shit on their mind.
I just want to wake up and see the headlines that say Donald Trump dead.
Yeah. I think there's a lot that stand behind you in that statement, and that will be a sense of healing for a lot of
Right.
people. Absolutely.
Donald's dead. Melania's deported.
Yeah. But she wasn't friends with Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, no.
She unifies.
There's an awful lot of pictures with you and him and her
Yeah.
standing around as a little foursome. So
But they were that's casual.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
casual.
They just
I only
happened to
met
be-
him once.
they just
Yeah.
happened to be at the same party.
Yeah, she
at the
only met
same
him
time.
once on different days, one time.
Yeah.
That's the way I look
She
at
didn't
it.
know. She didn't know Giselle or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of pictures of the two of you together.
Right. Absolutely. I love it. Well, before we go, is there any charities in Kansas City that you guys are working with as of late that we want to talk about? Because we'll plug them in with the podcast.
I've been donating items to Lazarus Ministries.
Okay.
They serve homeless people, food insecure, low income people. Every Saturday they served lunch to over 200 people.
Wow.
And then they have a store upstairs with a personal shopper to take them through to get exactly what they need. They also have doctors come and podiatrists come and help them with that too.
Yeah, we donate a lot of clothes and household items because they said a lot of people donate clothes
Yeah.
and say bathroom supplies. But if some woman and her kids are trying to get started again after whatever situation,
Yeah.
they don't have things to decorate their apartment with, pictures, lamps,
Yeah. Okay.
rugs, any of
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
now everybody that we're close friends with say, I've got a bag of stuff for you to take to Lazarus. So
Perfect.
When I met them through bingo.
Okay.
We have at least 2 or 3 organizations that we become great friends with because
Yeah.
of bingo. So, and like I said, I love bingo because I've met so many different people from different organizations that I never heard of.
Yeah.
And if you are a volunteer or want to give your time to an organization, you're automatically a good person. So, it's been really good. And I was giving food to Lion House,
Mhm.
LGBT youth homeless shelter.
Yeah.
So,
Excellent.
yeah, I like giving back. I like giving
Making
back.
people smile and giving back. I think you've said that before, and that's exactly what it is. That's what we're here to do. That's what we all should be doing.
All right.
Make each other smile and give back.
well, and the whole history of life is just be a good person.
Right.
Be a nice, good person. You don't have to like everybody.
Yeah.
But you can still be a good person.
And be respectful.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love it. This has been great.
Really? We did okay for you all?
Okay, you did wonderful. This was perfect. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm
No.
always worried when I do an interview. Was it okay?
No, you were
Or
perfect.
did I sound like an idiot?
No, not even not even at all. This has been wonderful. And
Well, thank you again for coming here and even just inviting us to do it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
no, this has been wonderful. I love the energy from the both of you.
Oh,
It's
thank
just
you.
been perfect. So, yeah, we'll definitely hit it up. But, well, thanks everyone for listening to Everyone's a Little Queer. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
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 Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Everyone's a Little Queer with the one and only Melinda Ryder and their husband, Kirk Nelson. As you may have noticed, Bruce is currently dealing with some unfortunate medical issues, which has left them off the stage for quite some time. Unfortunately, these issues have yet again landed Bruce back in the hospital. Bruce is receiving excellent care, and Operation Perform Again is in full swing as Bruce and his doctors work tirelessly to achieve a healthy recovery, hopefully soon. With Melinda Ryder off the stage, Bruce and Kirk could use all the support. So please don't forget to tip your queens. Tips can be sent to @Bruce-Winter Bruce-32 on Venmo. And for those who are in the local Kansas City area or close enough to travel, a Rally for Melinda, a gathering of love and support featuring many local drag queens and members of our local queer community at Missy B's Thursday, May 28th, 2026 at 7 p.m. We look forward to seeing everyone there. Thanks again for all your love and support, and we all wish Bruce a healthy recovery soon. We'll see you next time.